Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Alexandria Rayford, filling in for Jake Taylor. This weekend, you can run for a good cause in the 5K Roosters Run. A local family demanding justice after a Yakima man was unexpectedly murdered nearly 3 years ago. President Biden's approval numbers have steadily dropped over the past few months. COVID cases again on the rise, as well as the Omicron variant. Today alone, 522 new cases here in the valley. Several towns in Whatcom County are dealing with more flooding today. Yeah, Jake, unfortunately, the driver and passenger that were in the red Mustang are now deceased. The way the current system works, deputies have to go in and scroll through frequencies depending on what area they're in. Now, as you can see, I've got on a hat, gloves, a scarf, and 3 layers. The barks that you're hearing right now are just from a few of the dogs here at the shelter. We've got a little stuffed minion here. We've got a little tea set some kids can enjoy. Members of the community left flowers, teddy bears, balloons, and candles for those students. One of YPD's patrol officers recognized a stolen vehicle at a nearby motel.
We are not bathing in our home anymore right now.
It's been 2 months since the Hyatt family found out their well is contaminated with PFAS from firefighting foam that has seeped through the ground from the Yakima Training Center. Since then, their daily lives have altered completely as they can no longer drink any of the water from their sinks. Instead, they have to use water the military's been supplying them.
You can't just go hop in your own shower and feel safe. You can't just put your own children in the bath and have a fun time in your own home and feel safe.
Brandy Hyatt says the family has been going to a local YMCA to take showers. This cost them around $1,200 for an annual membership, which they felt was necessary since the Yakima Training Center has previously said it could be 30 years before they have a permanent cleanup solution for these homeowners. Now, for most of us, we don't have to think twice when coming to the sink to brush our teeth. But for the Hyatt family, they have to remember to use these water bottles every day to rinse with. This is just a fraction of how PFAS has changed their daily lives.
The last few months, my brain's been remembering. I haven't used it since maybe 2 months ago.
Now, although the Department of Health says there is low exposure of PFAS from bathing, Hyatt says they'd rather not risk further exposing themselves, considering they've already consumed water from the well for years. Additionally, Hyatt says the YMCA membership has helped the kids adjust in a way that's fun for them. However, she's concerned about those families that can't afford to do the same thing.
I know that not everyone can afford to put filtration systems on their homes or buy memberships at the Y. So what are they left with? And where are the people helping those people? If I could do it, I would do it, but of course we can't.
You put it off, unfortunately, and then it's too late.
Nathan Wingeter, a Yakima local who loves to exercise, says he wishes he would have gotten the COVID-19 vaccine sooner rather than later.
You just never know when it's going to get you.
When Wingeter found out he had COVID last month, he went to the hospital but was sent home with oxygen. The next day, he found himself struggling to breathe after his oxygen levels fell. After getting dressed in a protective gown, gloves, and an N95 mask, I spoke to Wingeter about the moment his condition took a turn for the worse.
It just feels like you're suffocating because you can't get the air into your lungs. Every breath you take is like a fraction of what it should be.
Wingeter says he had planned on getting vaccinated but found himself putting it off for weeks and says he planned to get it the day after he got sick when he fell ill with COVID. I spoke to Brett DeGrosselier, an RN that works on the COVID unit, who's seen COVID patients fight to survive as some slowly meet their deaths.
It's hard when someone passes away from COVID because they don't just die all of a sudden. They're suffocating for sometimes weeks at a time.
Wingeter urges people to get the vaccine since it could lower your chances of being hospitalized, as he plans on doing so once he is released.
I would recommend doing it as soon as possible because you just never know. That's how I thought. I was like, oh, I can do it next week or whatever. And then you get it out of the blue and it's too late.
Dogs can do more than the humans can.
Tracy Woods, a local dog breeder, says she has been wanting to get therapy dogs in local schools for a long time. And at a time where COVID isn't showing an end in sight and causing a lot of changes in schools, she says this is much needed.
Teachers telling me what they saw when kids were at home through their Zoom lens, and they knew they were going to have issues when they come back.
Recently, Harriet Thompson Elementary in Grandview accepted Wood's donation of a therapy dog named Forrest. I spoke to one of the teachers to see how the presence of a dog can help the kids through this tough time.
It really goes a long way when it comes to helping their mental health and just contributing to their social and emotional needs. The only thing I express is happiness. I haven't seen any of them express anything else.
And that's exactly the response I got when I asked some of the kids how they felt having Forrest, Willow, Ivy, and Mossy in their classrooms. Their responses varied as to why, but they all used the same word.
It makes me feel happy. I feel like so happy that he was here. I was so happy to meet him.
I feel happy.
Miss Ortega added that the dogs are another way for the kids to feel comfortable at school and can help with the anxiety some of them might feel about the possibility of school being closed at any given moment.